Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV for our ETF2L Season 38 Week 2 Premiership Division game between top5rocket and GlobalClan.EU. My name is Lucky, and tonight I'm joined by Rahmed on production and Dave as my co-cast. How's it going, man?
It's going really well. It should be a really, really good game, to be honest. We should get a taste of both kind of the best of French TF2 and British TF2. So it's kind of like a Greg's Baguette, is how I like to imagine it. But yeah, so that means it's going to be, an excellent game for sure.
How long were you storing that one in the pipeline for?
A couple of days.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm excited to see these two teams go head to head. Is the match that I was looking forward to most in the season. I said it early on because this is essentially my pick between the top 3 and top 4 team. Between these two teams, I think that GlobalClan would get the 3rd position, so I think they're slightly better than the French team on paper. To me at least, because GlobalClan have been improving a lot throughout the season. Ixie's carrying, Charlie's suddenly activated, Mathis is going ham. Flick and Dowie also play, but you don't need to know about that. And Dagger's also been kind of activating as well, so I'm excited again to see this GlobalClan team. So just going to run down that roster one more time for those who didn't notice my quick speaking, but we've got Dowie on the medic class, Dagger on demo, Charlie on pocket soldier, Mathis on Roma, Flick as the pocket scout, Ixie as the flank scout.
Yep, and then on the side of top 5, we have Mula as medic, Elikor as demo, Corback as pocket, Duo as Roma, pocket scout is Neo, and QB is going to be the flank scout. Just to see the top 5 rocket, they've come back. I think this is they kind of return to like a full French roster. They played. Most of their success was under kind of the Ascent banner when it was still like Ombrak, Elikor, Corback. I think were key parts of all those teams. But that was when they were getting kind of second in Prem. I think they got a couple of times. But yeah, they're back to kind of their roots. I mean, I don't know. People probably remember them as kind of these perennial Div 1 chokers back when they had Medico and all those guys.
Medico.
Nice, yeah, they were always like a really, really exciting, sick team. And I think also one of the best names in TF2.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that this team has a ton of potential, especially picking up players like Elikor and Mula. These two players are very known for coming top in Premiership. They did very well in the recent tournament that happened. They came Elikor and Mula coming top in that, coming first place. Picking up Duo as well, very solid soldier that we know about. Corback, of course, returning to the fray. That man absolutely ruins people's lives, and I cannot wait to see him play. But also picking up QB on Scout. This was the most interesting pick for me out of all of the picks that top5rocket could have gone for. Picking up QB, a demo man player, and sticking him on the scout class. Maybe he played a few French mixes because I know those go kind of rampant and just decided, you know what, this guy actually frags on scout and we can't get anyone else. So, you know what? QB it is. What do you reckon about the QB pickup?
It's interesting, right? I think it might also be a little bit tactical because I've noticed in his game so far he plays like this quite far away from the rest of the team, kind of flank scout, which it really allows him to pump heals into Elikor, and I think Elikor is really kind of the superstar of this team. I mean, Corback is obviously, played very much at the top of the game as well, so those are the two kind of standout players. But when they're able to pump all their heals into Elikor as much as possible, I think that's really kind of what activates the team for them.
Yeah, I remember just seeing in the tournament as well, Elikor just wandering into last, killing 4 players and just capping out to keep them in the series. And like you're winning off on process, it was actually incredible watching him just pull this stuff out of his own rectum to destroy them, and it was just a super fun thing to watch from Elikor. He just did so much work. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, we did see the same coming out of GlobalClan. Like Dagger has activated. Like he was kind of in Div 2 and Div 1 for a little while and just kind of chillaxing, relaxing, and then suddenly ended up on GlobalClan.EU and then just ended up smacking. Like, he's been doing really well on this team. I believe this is his Prem debut. So to play on this roster where it looks like he's going to come top 4 is like nearly Nubby level good of coming into Prem, because Nubby came second in his first season of Prem, as we are actually now getting ready to go live. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are now heading in towards our first mid. If you missed it already, it's top5rocket versus GlobalClan.EU. I'm Lucky John by Rahmed on production and Dave as my co-caster. It's the ETF2L Week 2 of the Premiership Division, and I'm going to be watching Elikor on this first mid fight. The man is already in mid. in the flowers. He's going to be heading in towards this mid. Spam stickies across them, so they're going to be doing a good old mirror mid. GlobalClan now going to be committing all the way over towards the left-hand side, taking up Tetris. Going to be bombing over there, but it looks like we've got early bombs. Callbacks coming out. QB is nuked as well. They're going on top of Doey. They don't actually get the frag. Doey gets a nice surf out on the other side of the mid, however. Charlie's bombing towards Moolah. They create a nice pinch onto Moolah here. Moolah's trapped in and goes down. GlobalClan.EU going to be taking away the first mid.
Yeah, absolutely. They just erected a wall in front of them. There was nothing they could do. All the players jumped in, tried to get some damage down. Couldn't whatsoever. Now, with Moolah going down, there's going to be a large Uber advantage. They're already rolling into second and just slowing it down a little bit, but they're going to get players buffed up, and it looks like they're going to take it into last soon.
It looks like they are getting ready to take it in, and they are going to be stacking up the top right area. And it looks like Doey only just uses here, so he manages to get a little bit of milk coming in, and they are just going to play the point immediately. No stickies on it. They get a flashing towards Flick. As the soldiers come in, they're just going to be playing around this point here. The cap is going through. Callback lands on it. They are defending it. Neo also top of it, and the peel wasn't quite there from the rest of the team, as the rest of them died in the shot. Unfortunately, 1-0 to GlobalClan.
A little bit slow to rotate there from the front shoes, so yeah, 1-0 down. I mean, when you lose a round that quickly, you just have to completely come out with an absolute mental reset, just chalk it off, and you just have to play as if, you know, it's back to the start of the game again.
Refresh. Everyone's been in the DM server. Everyone is back to the mid-fight. Dagger's getting spammed nice and early. This is much better. Loads of damage into this choke point here from Elocore. He's just damaged everyone coming in. We've got bombs coming in from Callback in towards the Dagger. Unfortunately, whips a couple of rockets there, but they land on Doey, they get that frag. So now they're just going to group up around Moolah in this choke. Mathis has managed to flank around Moolah. Unfortunately, getting knocked away here. Jumps against the wall. Charlie in with a bomb. And Moolah does survive. QB there, picking up 3 kills as the bomb comes in from Dagger as well, but gets cleaned up there by Neo. QB pick it up for his team.
Yeah, and wow, that last rocket, I don't know if it did quite splash, but it came off the wall just above Moolah's head, but wasn't quite enough to take him down. They did the smart thing, they just backed up into that kind of flowers area, put the 2 scouts around the medic, keep him surviving. They were playing the objective of just keeping their medic alive to perfection, and just about take it, but now they're going to have 100%.
Textbook stuff here, making their way in towards lobby, getting buffed up on the way through. Going to be looking to take the same Uber in very standard top right push, buffing up that flank before they make their way in. On the other side, Flicker's got his level 2 gun set up, the sniper in the top left. Ixie not going to take any heads here as the Uber has popped through pretty much immediately. They get the gun down immediately, nice sticky and winger combo, take them out, and it looks like they are able to get the Uber all the way across, and the point is sticky currently, and Callback goes down. No other frags being traded out here. Neo goes down, QB is too weak to come in, and it looks like Elocore knocked down to the low ground by Charlie, gets pinned in this corner. It looks like Moolah escapes through top left. Catches up with QB and they escape. But Doey up now with his Uber. Nice hold from GlobalClan.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened there. Like, they used it and just seemed to lose all momentum. I don't know if the flank wasn't quite able to get in as they wanted. Sometimes that can be a thing on the Sunshine map, that your flank has to enter kind of with good timing compared to the rest of the team. We've seen that with Charlie go miles in the air, but he's a bit of a scout mission. Will just about survive. They're going to walk into mid here now, GlobalClan. They have lost 2 players though, so I think the Frenchies are going to take, and there is a backup threat as well.
Oh my god, they're just rolling through. Callback onto the Doey. Doey has used Uber on himself. He's sticking off on the shadow door, getting juggled in, and he's just in lobby. I feel like he should commit seppuku right now. It looks like he's been chasing that out. Yeah, he's dead. Neo just chases it in. And of course, actually going to be pushed into towards last. Stickies off Ixie. Get that damage down. Cat time on point. Bomb can shoot from Mathis. Good defense currently. They're landing all these players on the point. Charlie's still up. Flicker's still alive. Can Flick beat the heels? He is too weak on point. Moolah's on it with the head, and they just bust them back into the dirt. And that's going to be Flick going down to get the 1-1 on the scoreline. It is now even.
Yeah, I thought Flick was going to come out with a heroic defense there. They seem to have so many bodies on defense. I don't know how the damage came in, but just about a couple of them stayed off the point long enough. Just about the health came in for them, and now 1-1.
Looks like we've got another mid-fight on our hands right now. Dagger's going to make his way into Flowers. Nice fast rollout in towards the top of Cafe there. Doesn't really achieve much with it. Didn't really get an airstrike off, but Mathis going to be chilling in his own Cafe. Waiting to get a peek off here just to see if he can bomb in towards anyone. And Mathis going to be taking that high ground on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, on the other side, Callback's bombing in towards Dagger to get him down. Doey's pinned in the corner. Doey's taken down as well. And now they just got a group up around Moolah. Charlie on the low ground being on the Tetris right now. The Watchtower. I'm speaking absolute garbage. Charlie's going to create her in Flowers, however, and it's going to be the scouts running in, trying to get Moolah, and Ixie cleans it up. Flick is still alive and gets killed by Neo, but at least they got the medic.
Yeah, I mean, for top 5 rocket, you see Korvac just doing so much work for him every time. That was a really, really good salvage there from GlobalClan. Charlie, he was stuck on the watchtower. He didn't get the cleanest bomb in the medic, but he just turned enough heads, and the 2 scouts came in from different angles. So no one could deal with all the different angles they were getting attacked from, and they did manage to clean the medic up. And it's going to give them a slight uber advantage as well.
Looks like they are able to reclaim second. There was a bit of pressure down from the side of top 5 rocket, but not enough to hold them out here. And looks like they are going to be bombing in. Charlie getting a load of space for his team already, dragging some eyes, and the bomb is now coming in on top of Dowie. Good damage onto Dowie and his players that are around him. Flick's going to go back to clean up Dwo, and they're going to be able to get this midpoint. But during all of that, Dowie actually disconnected his beam, so Mula is now up to 80%, and it is going to go nearly even here. But they're getting ready to go to a choke here, Dave, and they are actually using the Zuber out. Moves up to 95%. Can he get the Zuber in time before he goes down? And he is going to get it by the looks of it, and not use on 60 HP. So he is more than happy to sit in this corner. Nice arrow to Elikor as well. Mura is playing like an absolute god right now, playing with his team in the bottom left corner. They're just baiting them all into this corner, so there's nothing they can currently do. They get respawners as well, so Dwo is now there to rejoin the team. And Mula with a lovely hold is going to make it. Oh, also holds against Charlie Bomb as well. The bomb comes in from Dagger. He's still holding Mula.
Oh my god, this man has absolute titanium testicles. That was just great Bendix play. I mean, it looked risky at first. It seemed like both the scouts wanted to go forward with the counter Uber and just clean up Dowie, but he just decided to sit back, hold the Uber, and then 2 more crucial bombs come in, and he holds for both of them, and now they're going to be able to take some space as well.
Yeah, just fully committed in. Mula gets in, doesn't take a single point of damage, and he is just in. Looks like they are now going to pop out the Zuber, but Dowie has managed to build his Uber only just in time. Elikor is super weak, so they are going to have to flash a bunch of players to get them all out of here. But they've got a better refight on their hands here for the side of GlobalClan. Mathis is already in behind on Cafe, on mid, so they are going to have that pincer maneuver if they want it. Korvac and Dwo are going to be spawning up in a second, so lack of spam passes. The bomb comes in towards Mula. Mula dodges it though, and Elikor now is trapped in, super weak. It's going to require an arrow, gets sticky down by Dagger and does die. Ixie getting picked off there by Neo as well inside of the midpoint. It looks like we've got a bit of a scrappy fight on our hands. No Ubers, QB is weak, gets an arrow, and Flick on the low ground now on this mid is eventually going to get cleaned up here by Korvac. He's still somehow alive, and Neo gets the clean up with Dwo, and they're able to hold this mid. It looks like they are making the push towards second already.
Yeah, it took 4-player distraction, but now with both the scouts down, there's going to be absolutely no denial. Soldier comes in, and they do manage to pick up Dwo. I think with his dagger with the pipes in the end. A little bit of fighting, but real kind of bad position here from GlobalClan. It's only their player advantage, and it's because of that player advantage that top 5 are scared, and they do decide to back out.
Yeah, very wise decision as well after going down there, but Dowie up with the Zuba, Moonlight has his as well. Charlie's going to be bombing in though, getting a load of space, spotting some things. Ixie's going to be just running in there. Oh my god, Ixie! Oh my god, Ixie and Flick, they just managed to pick up Elikor and force out the Uber. And Dowie here on Cafe isn't having to use just yet, just pops it out now. Mula on the low ground though is going to get surrounded here. Dagger just trying to land some pipes, so does land the final pipe. Mathers actually craters to his own death. Korvac and QB going to be heading in behind. QB's currently going for a back cap, but they are sending players back for it. Dagger is already bombing all the way back. Korvac's just trying to hold off as many people as he can. The stickies go on the point. QB's going to get knocked off. It nearly gets the capture. Just buying a ton of space for the side of the top 5 rocket.
They have bought time, but Dowie is now at quite a large Uber advantage. Dwo is somehow sneaked behind into Cafe. I think he has been seen, so I don't think the backup is going to be on him, and he's going to, in fact, jump into Charlie. Still has decent health, so he's getting some cap time, but does just about get cleaned up by Ixie, who survives on 10 health.
I've got to say that flank play from Ixie and Flick comes with the choke there was absolutely incredible to get that kill onto Elikor and get the force. But looks like we've got some pressure and choke here. Korvac tries to jump away but gets absolutely deleted as he tries to do so, and it looks like Dowie now has a duper charge. Mula doesn't quite have his as he did go down, and it looks like Dowie is going to be making his way in through Cafe right now. There is little to no pressure on him right now, so it's going to be an easy second take, but will they want to roll it to last?
Well, they're getting up to as 80% now on top 5, so they're probably. I imagine GlobalClan are aware that the possibility that they could have him, and yeah, they're not deciding to move on that slight advantage. It would have been extremely risky. Like by the time they'd got in, they would have had to like nuke the medic instantly with the Uber. So 20% is difficult to push onto. They're not going to take that risk, and they're just going to settle for a little bit of a stalemate.
Charlie's going to be bombing in, trying to get a second towards Elikor, doesn't quite find anything, but Mathis now bombing in towards Mula, but Mula is safely in that spawn door. Dwo actually went down during all of that. He just got 2 rocketed by Mathis in the spawn door. And now we're going to just see a bit of a push out here, but Dagger gets the kill onto Neo in lobby. That was massive from him. Holy moly, I didn't think he'd get that kill.
Yeah, it's just cheeky, aggressive play in the lobby. Peeks the shutter, cleans him up. Really nice fight from him, and stopped any kind of potential sack coming in, really.
So they're just going to be setting up again. Looks like they're going to be opting for another double sack or a trade through top right. Either one, they're just trying to spam onto this gun, and they do get it down, and they do find QB as well. Nice spam there from Charlie, helping out with Dagger as they find that. They're going to be bombing in. Charlie from top right, gets the skip off in towards Mula, just air shots Neo into the floor, and they get the force off. Ixie is actually on the point with cap time, so they nearly cap out the point as well. And this is a perfect opportunity here for an Uber repush here as they're arrowing up Mathes, and they do not have to use this Uber straight away. They're just taking all the way to the point. Dagger actually gets Uber right now. They're just flashing everyone on the point to keep them alive. Going for frags instead of going for the capture. Probably a wise decision, but Dagger caps it out as the flash comes off, and that's going to be 2-1. A nice calculated push there from GlobalClan.
Brilliant from GlobalClan. They just got that slight advantage that, like, they took out the gun and the energy that allowed both the soldiers to jump in from different directions, and as that was happening, Ixie got so much cap time on the point that it was just absolute cinch to clean it up, and now they're 2-1 up.
Dagger there carrying that push with the spam plays, and Elicor's now back into mid. He's going to be arriving much faster because of this flower roll out from Dagger being a little bit slow on the roll, but it looks like Callback's going to be bombing him really deep again. Right inside the combo, gets the kill towards Dagger. The next bomb comes in from the other soldier. So much space created for top5rockets. Mathes goes in, trying to get Mula. Pins him against the wall, nearly gets the air shot. Mula, nice little surf there. Charlie is currently in behind, maybe for a clean-up play here, but looks like he's not going to get there in time. Has actually been spotted out, it looks like, is on Cafe, and they do know he's there.
Yeah, I mean, the soldiers came in there from top 5 and they got so much damage down on the scout. Flick just about survived on a sliver of health, but it made it completely impossible for them to contest anymore. So they have got out. We already see here now top 5 pushing into seconds. They got a lot of position, they got all the high ground. GlobalClan want absolutely nothing of it. They're sneaking back to last, and they're just going to settle for holding the last one.
They are wanting to burn some clock time, it looks like, just by sitting on last. Flick's going to get his sentry gun up, not going to pull any punches here. Just get the gun set up. They're doing the very classic hold demo soldier right and your soldier with the sentry gun on the left-hand side. But they are just going to spam with the two soldiers, take down that gun, and have a little bit of a nice time here trying to send in sacks. But they are taking their time with it. Deciding not to send them as the sniper is currently on the left shutter, maybe spotting that Don. I won't send anyone as the soldier comes through on the right side. In towards Dowie, gets the force off. Very nice there from Dowie.
Ooh, like, Dowie hit not the worst surf in the world. I thought, I mean, it's just respect for Dwo's ability to hit directs, I guess, that he felt he had to pop. Because Dwo's second rocket was not, probably wouldn't actually have dropped Dowie, but he has so much respect for these players at the top of the game that he just felt he had to pop, and now we're going to see full advantage for the French where they're going to take it from.
Yeah, it's a respectable enough pop there, I think, from Dowie. When you fear and you just don't want to make any mistakes at this level in your official games, you just kind of use, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, I think, in those situations when you're faced against Woe. They've got the level 3 gun set up. They're making it in through bottom right, through dungeon. They pop out the supercharge, destroy the gun. And Cap is now open, but there is Dagger sticking off the point there. Does get the sticks onto Neo, and now they've got the frags and damage. Elicor is too weak to continue this fight. Is actually out this last. They bomb towards Dagger though, and they get that frag. Soldier is getting cap time down. 2 scouts now just trying to peel and defend it. Callback bombs in, actually dies on the point here. They've got Mathes too weak on the point to fight, and Elicor's now trying to repush as Dowie gets the supercharge. Elicor in lower gets cleaned up, and Mula is the hell out of there.
Yeah, he's one man alone. He has to run. He's getting chased down. Ixie, I think he can go from. No, he does see the spawning sack just about in time. Then Neo. I mean, it looks okay. Like, they took out Dagger, but then no one had any health. No one managed to rotate back to the heals. And if they managed to come back to the heals and get healed up, they could have worked it with their kind of player advantage now. But that push didn't come off because they lost all those frags, so they've now given up second, and it's pretty equal as well.
Yep, it's a pretty equal situation here. We're probably just going to see the stalemate here, but looks like top5rocket a little bit in the driver's seat of this one. They have got the ability now to send sacks, just trying to base some players forward. They've got a soldier going in high on towards Mathes, just going to bottom right, they get that kill, but Dwo goes down afterwards. They're actually going to go for an Uber trade here. Elicor is super weak though, just dies immediately. And there's not a lot they can do here on the side of top5rocket. They're just getting stuffed in this choke, and Mula goes down. and it is just going to be GlobalClan taking absolutely everything away from top 5 rockets. QB's just going to escape the mid.
Dagger just absolutely beast. He's another one who likes to take the heals from the rest of his team, but completely deserving those heals and that Uber there, beasting everyone. I think it was his initial damage on Elacor as well in the choke that kind of put them into that position where they had to go for that kind of risky kind of trade play, and it ended up not being a good trade at all. Completely turned around on them. GlobalClan have all the momentum.
Oh, QB actually had his sights pinned on Doey, but the deck comes through from Dagger. Just turns around as the call is made, and they get that kill on him very easily. Doey up to 91%, Mula only with 35%, so he's just going to be buffing up his players, ready for this incoming push from the side of GlobalClan. They're actually going to pop through. Dagger whiffs his jump, however, they're now going on top of the sentry gun and just gets taken down immediately. Only level 1, making their way across the left-hand side this time, and they are all the way across inside the enemy team. And Doey is able to get his heals to his flank players as they're coming in, and it looks like Dagger now going to be coming back up from dungeon. All of the players on GlobalClan super weak. One rocket will kill them all. Callback manages to get that rocket in there, nestles it in Charlie's rectum very nicely, and QB's going to be moving all the way towards the point here. Does manage to get healed up as the bombs come back in from Mathes. Beautiful peel from him. It's going to be Dagger walking across the point to get the Uber force out of them, and very nice play there from GlobalClan getting that force right at the tail end of that push.
Yeah, they made a big mistake in that push that they didn't lock down the right. They didn't leave a player in the right spawn to lock it down. They just focused all the players on the left. But really, really good salvage. Mathes comes in, picks up the heavy. Dagger comes in, gets the forward. And now we see Charlie trying to go for something. They're really far forward here. I mean, they've got to be worried. They're coming up towards that Uber. Top 5 are skedaddling out of there before that Uber comes up, but they're still going to have to deal with an advantage push.
95% on Doey, so he's going to have it. Looks like they go for a left-hand side push, just changing things up a little bit. They're just going to use her immediately. Not quite needing to, but they do it anyway. And Dagger's in on the right-hand side, taking off that spawn. Nero is currently up on Pyrrhus, gets a headshot by Dagger in the doorway. Oh my god.
Yeah, they made no mistake there. They just made sure they went really deep into both spawns, completely locked down, and just easy for them to get the cap time. They were completely stuck in spawn there. And it's 3-1.
Very, very clean stuff from the side of GlobalClan right now, proving why they're in the position they're in, just making their way through top 5 rocket on Sunshine. Maybe this is just their lucky map. And Elacor once again in mid so quickly. Flick comes in, eats a bunch of spam, so they're just struggling to get Doey into these mids. And top 5 rocket are very positioned up to do it, but they're sending callback in very early on, and Dagger actually not getting killed there, so just bait these bombs in. They do find Muller as well on the backside as they just send in these bombs, and now they can just play around Doey and Flowers, just get bunkered up and just hold. Ixie now out of position, gets cleaned up by the rest of the players as Elacor goes bombing in, tons of damage down towards Flick. And now they're able to get the flank off here. Neo's just running in towards Dagger. Can Dagger defend Doey? In lower, nice pipes onto Neo to clean him up there. Beautiful from Dagger.
Oh,
and on Dwell.
Dagger is destroying everyone right now. He's on an absolute tech. He's jumping forward when he's just got a mini with him. He's going 1 second test mid, but I think he thinks better of it. Probably someone in Bumble telling him he's not quite as hot as he thinks he is. But he is really, really tearing it up.
He's been mortalised by Elacor here. It looks like he's bombing choke as well, gets air shot there, and kills himself to his own rollers. Getting a little bitty big balls now, Dagger. Maybe calm down a little bit. Yeah, you've been air shot by Elacor, you've been put back in your seat.
Yeah, they are going to be able to move in even with no damage. Oh, Mula's in the air, it's so far forward, they get completely caught out. And Doey doesn't even have to use the Uber, he does use it now. The force comes in from callback. Now we see Mathes taking a bit of the. That's 3 cleaned up. I mean, they almost committed. Do you see a 1v1 scout behind? But Ixie picks that up. And now there's only one player up, it's Neo, and he's on sniper.
Looks like he's trying to defend this point. Why is he on sniper? This is the questions that we need to ask. It's kind of a massive throw as it goes forward. Oh my god. Big crush here from the side of GlobalClan. Not going the way I expected it to go here, Dave.
They just have all the momentum. I mean, I'm going to say Sniper is not the best class to defend last solo when you're the only one alive. Neo just fancied, I guess he wanted to hit a hero shot. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to kill all 5 players pushing in. But I think they need a little bit of a mental reset now, as they have been getting steamrolled the last few minutes.
Yeah, Dagger actually coming in towards mid relatively fast. They get the bomb towards Zoe and they kill them. So they managed to achieve what they wanted to in the last few mids. Math is now going down as well. Ixie's just going to be running across the point as they baited Elacor, and they're just going to be escaping. QB and Mula should just leave. They are up on flowers right now. Why are they still fighting people? They need to run away. They're getting pincered now from Choke. Ixie is in onto Mula. QB's not back in time. Actually, QB with the 2-shot there. And the bomb from Korvac onto Dagger on mid. Beautiful play there from him. And they are able to defend Mula just enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, Korvac is just doing a ton of work every time I see him. He just seems to get the bombs at the perfect time, get those crucial frags. Big bomb comes in so weak there from Moon. I don't know if he would have created, but he did land nicely to reduce his full damage. Pretty close there, but they do still have this, but they're looking to take it in. Charlie down, so they've only got one soldier to deal. Mathis hasn't had a huge impact so far in these kind of sacks, and he seems to be spamming from long range, so they don't have to worry about him. The thing is, though, there's really not much caps on them. They haven't even capped mid yet, and while they've got all the position in last, like the second cap is going to be a while away.
Yeah, they don't know that. They thought they'd just cap second. I'm fairly sure of, but it looks like they're taking the Zubrin towards last. They're only just getting the capture down on second, but they've got loads of damage actually. They killed both soldiers. So just the down man left to defend this point, but they get the Uber charge. So it is all for nothing, as they are just sending players all the way out here. They just want to make that push happen before Doe got his Uber, it looked like, and they are able to just escape with their remaining players. Mula up with a 20% advantage off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult to push this 20% advantage, but if they build it well, I think they're going to have to go for it. It is only 8 minutes left, and they are 3 rounds down. So it's really, really on a knife edge now for them. They can't really make any mistakes whatsoever. They've only got a small advantage, not ideal at all, but they're going to have to make it work somehow.
These super experienced top 5 Rocket players who are just going to have to try their best here to come back into this game, and they are doing so with a big ballsy advantage. But Elacor there unfortunately walks into the stickies as they did not get cleared away, and they still want to go for this. It looks like they are bringing Hills top right. Actually, no, never mind, they're leaving lobby. I am talking absolute shit right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just felt they just could not push without Elacor there. I mean, probably the right decision, like in terms of like from the textbook perspective, but the time is really on now, and every time they get these small advantages and aren't able to make them work, it's going to make it less and less likely for them to launch this comeback.
Yeah, Ixie is actually up on the spy checking, making sure that there's no funny business coming out the side of top 5 Rocket. Very wise decision from him. Flick is struggling to keep this gun up. He has got it in the spot, however. So it's really difficult for them to spam this gun, but equally he's getting pressured super heavy and does need a little bit of help from his medic and soldier in the top left area. They are getting loads of spam down. Actually, Charlie finally killed to Dwell in top left, and Elacor just spamming over is going to destroy that gun, but it's going to mean that they're able to send a sack of Charlie, and they don't quite find Elacor with that, unfortunately, so just a trade in top left.
Yeah, I mean, last week we casted a game on Sunshine as well, and that gun was so much more effective. We now see Korvac going in really, really deep onto the spawn. Doesn't manage to quite kill that sniper. They are taking a little bit of a trade here on the right side. Neither damage go down for neither side at all. Position here for the French team, they're rolling it a little bit. Korvac's managed to pincer and come in. So he's caught really deep in the corner. Frags are going Global Clan's favour, though, I think.
You think? I have absolutely no idea what's going on in this fight, but looks like Neo is in a 1v3 at the end of that and is not going to be able to find anything whatsoever. So it looks like the side of Global Clan are able to hold, though he's actually respawning first. They are going to get some cap time down with their spawning players on towards second here. And I don't know if top 5 Rocket are keen to defend this, but they do get their spawners up. Dagger's only just catching his spawner now, so he's not going to quite be there to help spam. So it looks like we have got Korvac moving in, just spamming through. Elacor's actually bombing in. It looks like they are contesting this and they're making their way in. We've got Charlie bombing in, just getting a ton of space in. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the pack there. If he got it, he would have survived. But Korvac going down there in return. Mathis having to bomb through to lower, but he is being chased down by Dwo. Just goes in towards lower, and looks like top 5 Rocket are going to be able to take the second.
Top 5, I think they're really, really stuck in that 5th gear. They just have to push every opportunity they get. They know the time is against them. They know they're 3 rounds down. So it's great kind of absolute chaos. Ixie, the really nice snipe onto Mula. You'd think that would deny the push. I mean, the health is really, really nice here on Global Clan. They're coming quite deep now on Doe. They don't manage to pick up. Lots of cap time suddenly comes down. but he is just about cleaned up by GlobalClan. That's essentially a wipe, just Mula spawning. He's not even going to have anyone to build until just now.
Dowie has 100% Uber to play with, so they've only got 5 minutes left on the clock and they need to get 3 rounds to bring it back to a golden cap, or they need to get 4 rounds to win it out, and it can be done in 5 minutes, but it's a lot to ask for, Dave, and especially since Dowie has his 100% Uber now to play with, and they're going to be heading in towards mid with it as well, trying to take as much ground as they can and potentially just park the bus for the rest of the game. And looks like they are just taking it in here. Flick leading the charge here with Mathis, and they're actually pushing him out of mid without having to use the Zuba, and they get a kill onto QB. So all the cards going in their favour right now. Callback has managed to make his way in behind, however, and they just want to be very wary of him. So they backed off on mid, but they are still trying to hold, and the rest of the top 5 rocket are just poking and prodding. They get the kill onto Flick. A nice punt comes through. Dowie gets weak there. Callback still behind, causing chaos. Dragging back 3, and they are just going to go for a reset on second. Beautiful play there from Callback as Dwoe comes bombing in towards Dowie. Dowie with the surf. Doesn't use out that Uber charge.
Yeah, you're correct. That was, again, excellent play from Callback. Because he had a bomb on the medic on mid if he'd gone for it. I think he would have forced a trade out of the Ubers coming in, but he decided not to go for it. He straight went behind through Flowered, and it pulled the team back and bought a lot of time for his team.
Good lord. Ixie just runs in and just kills Alakor from choke, and that is a mistake that cannot happen. Mula getting super weak now, getting chased down as well. He's going to be escaping out of second. Looks like they're going to get the cap time down. They can just stack as the caps cap are roughly the same speed as we've got soldiers coming in to try and block here. They want to get a rebuttal round on the board. They are blocking nicely. The cap goes through. QB is running on towards last. He has to win this 1v1 versus Ixie. He is running in here. Has spotted out Ixie. Ixie crashed in the corner. They're going to take the 1v1 and Ixie wins those.
Oh my god.
Last for GlobalClan.
Wow, you can see the BCM of both of these guys. I mean, it would have been a 2-shot either way, but Ixie just slightly quicker on the trigger finger. He had so little health as well. That beastly meat shot that came in just about scrapes through.
I mean, QB didn't have to go directly to the point because Ixie was watching that top right corner and could just 2-shot him anyway and cap that out, but potentially not reading that situation and was just keen to get the cap time down just in case they got the second cap through. But so the GlobalClan now with 97% Uber, they have it now, and they're going to be making their way in towards choke. Not having to use that Uber, they do pop it out on towards Dagger, and Elikor drops beneath the point, does a submarine, and is going to get caught here by Mathis on the low ground. Unfortunately, the Uber charge now fades for the solid GlobalClan, and they're able to get some picks on point, however, and they actually find a bunch of kills here on the side of top 5 rocket, but the bomb comes in onto Mula from Charlie, destroying all the hopes and dreams top 5 rocket had of coming back into this game.
Dwoe was behind. He does not the best jump into mid, but somehow a really, really long-range direct picks up 2 mid players.
Dowie just arrow kills Neo on second. He just does not care. He saw the pipe go through, gets the arrow very crisp, just destroys him. Incredible.
I mean, it's looking a little bit of garbage time now. I mean, the chaos really happened from kind of 8 minutes to go when it went down to that 4-1. It's been really chaotic DMFest, although it's been entertaining to watch, but it seems that every time top 5 have definitely been asking questions consistently, but GlobalClan just about had their measure.
I'd like to point out Dowie currently has 110 points. He's looking to make it a record number of points for him in a single game. Looks like I've got Callback. He's going to be having a choke. They use out the Uber charge though. Callback getting the force, and they're able to drag players back here. Callback's just dragging everyone all the way back. And 1 minute 40 on the clock. Unfortunately, top 5 rocket can no longer do it. And I'm going to say it again, where's my GG plugin?
Well, I think Dowie wants the Uber to be built up here so he can pop 1 more Uber for a few extra points for his team. A couple of extra assists might be nice for him as well. I mean, top 5 don't really keen to kind of take this mid-fight a little bit. They're just pushing it slow. The game seems to have slowed down now that it's completely impossible that the comeback is on.
1 HP warrior. Do you see Charlie there?
No, I didn't.
He got bombed by 2 players and still manages to escape on 1 HP. Like, he's still alive now. They are just having Elikor in the skybox. He's landing on... Absolutely no one at all. That goes actually in bottom right here. It's going to get cleaned up by Neo. It looks like, yeah, it does go down. Charlie gets to come towards QB. Everyone's padding their stats right now. And looks like they're going to bomb towards Doe, but Doe pops out that Uber charge in the shuttle door, does manage to get everyone to survive here, and they're going to be chasing in towards Mula. Mula gets another death for along, saying Vive la France, and dies, and Neo is going to be taking a 1v1 versus Flick, and Flick proves, with Beam, I beat you in 1v1.
I do like that bomb from Elacor that he does, where he just it's so inelegant. It's almost glorious just how inelegant it is. He just puts a load of stickies down in a batch. Oh my god, Elacor destroyed Charlie. I don't know if that was called, but Jesus Christ, Charlie lands perfectly on Elacor, but instantly cleaned up by the pipe.
Like, I was on Elacor's POV for that because I accidentally clicked my mouse, and it was just like the most effortless pipe in the world. That was incredible stuff there. But Global Clan taking it 4-1 in this game. A very calm and coordinated game for the side of Global Clan. Just very good decision making throughout most of that game. Apart from the round they lost, they just got kind of rolled all the way back to their last from mid, and they just kind of got stuck there, and they ended up losing that round. But apart from that, it was mostly Global Clan just going absolutely ham on them for that entire game, and I've got to hand it to Ixie, man. That guy is just absolutely nuts. We've got some logs on screen for you now, and we are looking at Neo here on the side of top 5 rocket. 24 kills. Massive. But Ixie with 32. So, yeah.
I mean, you can see how effective both of the scouts were. I mean, top 5 scouts, not bad by any means, but 32 and 23 kills is a hell of a lot. And Dowie just surviving so much better than Mula as well. I think that's crucial. Like we saw how many points he got at the end of that game, pumping out the heals constantly, getting so many more Ubers, 18 to 11. That is a big difference.
Yeah, I get the feeling that what we're seeing in these logs is an amalgamation of basically the mid fights repeated, and it was that top 5 rocket were very keen to send their soldiers super early on. They sent their bombs in before they were even in, Dowie was even in position on mid. And because if they let Dowie come, every time they let Dowie come into the mid fight through flowers, and he actually got into the mid, then they bombed him and he always died. But every time they didn't get through flowers, they just stickied up, had 2 scouts on that little kind of battlements area in flowers, and they had a soldier there as well. So anytime that a soldier bombed, they just got immediately killed. Every time they did that, they baited Dowie in that choke. They were able to get the bombs off on towards Mula because everyone was looking forwards, trying to get on top of Dowie, and they just killed Mula every single time, basically. And those were that was the entire situation throughout the game. They just rolled those rounds all the way to their last and ended up winning it. And you can see it in the stats, like you mentioned. Mula just hang out to dry on these mids, unfortunately. And we've got to see if they can make a change here for Granary.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different kind of map with the played week 1 process and Sunshine. Granary, traditionally sort of a bit of a soldier map, I guess. A lot more spammier. A little, can be more spammy. It can actually be faster paced, simply because the mid fights are often very decisive.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing we've seen a lot of, I think, in terms of changes over the time on Granary has just been the speed and tempo of the mid fights. It's kind of gone from these rotation mids or setting up strat mids to let's end the mid as fast as humanly possible. And basically the way you do that is just crunch in chokes. Send your soldiers in super deep, super high, get your demo across the point, run your scouts across the top, and see how much ground you can cover in the shortest space of time without losing as many people as you can. All while trying to keep your med alive, because Granary is all about your medic kind of surviving on these mids, I think, because it's the notorious mid for your medic staying absolutely fragged.
Yeah, I mean, you're a medic main, I'm a medic main. I don't like these mids simply because the soldiers can go so high. I mean, medics die, particularly at the higher levels, medics die so often on these mids. If you can work out some kind of position, whether it's, going up top or just baiting a little bit more in choke, and your medic is just able to survive a couple more mids than the opposing medic, then that's really kind of a big driver towards victory. But yeah, we'll kind of see, it's often the soldiers are really it's going to come down to whether they're hitting the rockets on mids as well.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing to do as medic on Granary is press and hold the W key with your team, surround yourself in allies, and just get across that point with your team, and just hold as a solid one blob unit of players, and just pray that your ass is being covered by a scout on your team. That's just kind of how I take these mid fights. But in terms of the rest of the map, if you do not roll the mids, you end up with this horrible situation where you've just got stalemates. And in these situations, Global Clan excel. They manage to get their sacks off, and they get forces. They get work done on their sacks. So I'm scared for top 5 rocket if you are in these situations where you are facing up against a stalemate. against GlobalClan because they have good holds and they have good sacks coming out of Mathez and Charlie combined because they like to do double sacks and spam really well. And Dagger, we saw it in that last game. He out-damaged Elacor by quite a significant margin, 390 to the sub 300 DPM of Elacor. Just proves that their holds are much better because whenever they had a stalemate, it was just, Dagger reigning supreme.
Yeah, Dagger was absolutely beast in the last game. But again, this is a different map. Like, Granary is often kind of a weird map for demos. We see it can be awkward, like the mid-fight. Sometimes people are dying super early. I mean, it's much spammier than a lot of the other maps where you're kind of just expected to kind of lock stuff down. The demo spam is so important on this map. And with Dagger it being kind of his first season, it's going to be the first time he's going to be playing Granary in a Premiership official. It's really a test for him, but so far he looks very much up to the job.
Yeah, he looks very, very solid on this team. I feel like he's slotted in really well. I can't, to the point where I forget who the previous nomad of GlobalClan actually was. They were doing well with him as well, I was fairly certain, but I've forgotten who it was. If someone in chat can remind me of who that was, that'd be great. I'm not doing my job very well as a caster main. But if you've just joined us, this is ETF2L Season 38, Week 2, Top 5 Rocket versus GlobalClan.EU. We've got Rahmed on production. Dave is my co-caster. I'm Lucky, and we are getting ready for map number 2 as GlobalClan leads 1-0 currently, winning out Sunshine in this week. They're looking pretty solid off the back of this. Do you reckon GlobalClan.EU coming into the next couple of games are going to feel pretty solid, especially since their first week is against Nerd Rage? Do you reckon they'll lose against Fate, or do you reckon they'll have a good game?
Well, I mean, that first game against Nerd Rage was pretty chastening. They weren't like completely destroyed, but it was clear Nerd Rage was just kind of a level above. It might be the case that Nerd Rage was just a level above pretty much everyone, other than perhaps Fate. So, you talked about GlobalClan, if they win this fixture, perhaps looking at third place. I mean, it's still early on in the season. I mean, top 5 as well will probably be looking towards playoffs, and they probably feel that they kind of got screwed over by their first week official, where they beat Goblin Clan, but then Goblin Clan folded, so that means both these teams were currently on 0 points, but obviously you've got the 3 points from the first map coming in for GlobalClan.
I mean, yeah, Coughing Clan, unfortunately. I actually predicted that after the first week they would fold. So I was like, yeah, I did it, but they're dead. So now we got some other sad Prem teams and we won't get the casted games and all the rest of it. So it's kind of a bit sad. I actually had high hopes because they have missed in Silver's 2 players that I've been looking forward to watching in Prem for a while. I think it doesn't really count as a Premiership season if your team folds after week 1. That's just how it is. And it's unfortunate. I don't think they've managed to move a team up either into Premiership because it is now week 2. We've already started the season, so I think it's probably a wise decision to kind of leave it as is. But as it's shaping up, Nerd Rage looks incredibly dominant. And I struggle to think of how a team is going to be able to defeat them at this point. So we'll see if any team can actually come up with a solution to try and defeat them.
Yeah, I mean, I checked out their scrim logs against Feint as well, and it seems to be Feint are definitely able to keep up. I mean, if we're looking at these two teams potentially being 3rd and 4th, they seem to be a little bit behind kind of the top 2. But as you were saying like last time, we've seen it happen before. When Nerd Rage won their title, they came back from kind of 3rd or 4th place, I think. And now we're going to go into Granary.
Yeah, we are now ready. Both teams hitting the F4 button, so it looks like they do want to play video games eventually. On Granary, a map notorious for being resident sleeper. If you're in it for France, write Vive la France. And if you want GlobalClan to win, write Toxic Brit right now. As we're heading in towards mid, Elacor's on Garage. Looks like top 5 Rocket going to be going for the big crunchy on this. Big callback is bombing. Dwo's bombing. They're going in towards the choke. Callback gets his bomb towards Dagger, punches him into a corner, and gets flattened by Doey. Unfortunately there, Charlie going in does kind of meet the same fate from Neo, and not a lot being done here, and it looks like Flick is going to die on the point here. Both getting cleaned up by QB there, and it looks like GlobalClan had a decent mid, uncoordinated however, coming in towards the rest of it, and get cleaned up with Dagger holding off the choke point nicely. Elacor gets denied. Neo is still running in, however. They got on top of Dagger. Good damage. They managed to clean him up there, and it looks like Matthew's running out on towards Shutter as well, with Doey, holds the corner nicely. Both medics get the Uber charge, and we are just going to see a stalemate in towards second.
Yeah, QB really won that bit. Oh, you say a stalemate, but they're kind of posturing a little bit. I think it's just a little bit of Medic was really, really close there. And, I guess they had Uber, so they could have traded if they wanted to. So again, a little bit of spam just coming in from Ella. It does take a lot of damage though, so the counter spam is coming. They're taking all the position here on Global Clan, and they are just going to chill a little bit.
Yep, Dowie is in the spot to not get forced in second, so he's just going to be holding up top. This is the reason why it can be so hard in Granary to get forces off, but this is where teams either like their lunch or do not like their lunch, and they need to make their way in towards lunchbox and see if they can't get in through that other side, as that is tends to be the best place to go. But Dagger there, totally out of position, and they get Flick as well. He tries to stand on top of the point here. Elocor's in for free. Callback is through top with Mula. They get the heals in towards the point. They're able to get second, and it looks like they could get a last push going. They roll it all the way. Elocor's already in. Haven't had to use the Uber round. Callback actually getting cleaned up there, but Charlie also goes down. So loads of frags for the side of them, but Dowie uses that Uber super early for no reason whatsoever on towards Mathes. This Uber's a disaster. Mula still has his Uber available for him. Neo is kind of weak. They get the bomb towards Mathes. Woe on top of the point right now. They just pop out the super keep players alive. Dwoe finds two, gets Flick on a 5k on towards Dowie. They get the cap, and it's just top 5 rocket all the way.
Dwoe is just an absolute beast of them. I mean, he's not doing anything special. He's not hitting amazing rockets. He's just shooting the floor. But the frags, the players are just walking into him. He got that crucial opening double pick going through Z. Then he just cleans up it, both on second and last, and top 5 start off really, really strong on this map, 1-0.
Looking good from top 5. Rocket feeling better on their boomer map, and Dagger now in towards mid. Elocor, equal amount of damage here. Elocor's getting kind of franked. Dagger does receive an arrow from Dowie, now going to make their way across the left-hand side. The ball comes through from really early from callback, and Dowie's been pincered and cleaned up here. They need to play around Mula immediately. Good damage towards Mula. Mula with a nice little surf there back towards the own health pack, and Mula gets it. Unfortunately, for the side of GlobalClan.EU, they all get cleaned up on the point. And it's going to be a wipe.
That's crazy. I mean, Dwoe must already be half the way towards his frags on the last map already. He's just completely fragging everyone. He comes and gets the medic and then picks up the demo afterwards. Really good play here from top 5. They seem to completely turn around. I don't know if this is just a little bit more their map, perhaps. Perhaps Global Clan just aren't quite as confident on it, but they seem to have all the momentum. But they've got to watch out for Mathis.
Oh, good damage from Mathis there. Nearly finds 2 there in Lunchbox. QB managing to survive. They're just going to buff up their players here before they head in towards this last. Flick is currently building his sentry gun. Has managed to get to level 2. Is nearly at level 3 right now. And is not really... It's on that right-hand side. So it doesn't really cover too much, but it's enough to kind of distract them. They are spelling out really early, though. And they actually clean it up before the Uber even gets to Elocor's face. And Arasticky's currently on punches. He's cleaning them up here. One rocket will do it. Neo actually managed to clean them off the point here. Dowie nowhere near his Uber, trapped in the door, gets cleaned up immediately. Ixie on the low ground, Mathes with no high ground. It's looking disastrous here. Top 5 rocket taking another round off the board.
Yeah, they just quite find a position, Global Clan, that they wanted to play. They ended up really kind of stuck in the kind of left side shutter. No aggression really towards the... Like a couple of players came out from the right. But they really got caught there, but as soon as Elocor pushed across into them, they were just completely mulched.
It's looking really, really positive. Top 5 rocket in these mids. GlobalClan.EU needs to come up with a solution to this aggression from the French side and get Dowie into this mid as fast as possible. Dagger actually getting nearly killed there as the bomb comes in for callback really high towards Dowie. Massive damage in that corner there, and now Mula mega baiting on top of Mathis here. This is exactly what you want to do if you're top 5 rocket. Just bunker up your medic inside of garage. Ixie now trying to run in. He is just surrounded by red players, and QB is pretty weak here. Just needs to get Harris come back in. Dagger's just trying to flank here. They get on top of Dagger, clean him up. Flick's now running in. Flick manages to get the kill onto QB, but no health on him, so it looks like Neo now up to 185. Oh, gets actually Boston bashed down, unfortunately, there by Neo. Nice fight from him.
I mean, he made hard work of that. He had the heal beam, almost lost the MGE to Flick there. But yeah, interesting to see from top 5 that they just played really, really passive and just committed those 2 soldiers super early, really, really well synced Dwoe and callback. And as soon as they fragged Dowie super early in the fight, it just forced Global Clan to kind of walk into their path and just get destroyed.
Absolutely annihilated. They're going to get this cap off at this point right now, and Mula is making his way towards the top. But Dowie's been building really well. He's up to 80%, so it looks like if he rotates through spawn, he will get this for last. In fact, an arrow comes out from Mula. They're not quite ready to make this push happen. They are now making their way in towards the pipe. They want to send it. But they're taking way too long to come in. Dowie now has his Uber charge. They use out the Uber, but Dowie has it. The gun is not currently destroyed. Eventually goes down. They're trying to get on top of Dagger. The Uber comes out from Dowie just to try and keep his health pool as high as possible. They get on top of Mula. Good damage on him. They clean him up eventually here. And the tail end of the Uber is looking absolutely awful for top 5rocket. And Dwo's coming in, trying to salvage what he can to Dowie. Dowie gets knocked into a corner, however, unable to get the next rockets off. QB is too weak. Actually flanking around. Going to be heading on towards that left-hand side. And he's going to spot Mathers out and die immediately. And it looks like GlobalClan.EU able to take this. Elicor's getting bombed, however, in yard by Dagger. Dagger biting off more than he can chew. Actually gets the pipe onto Elicor there and absolutely destroys him. And that's going to be huge for GlobalClan coming into mid.
Yeah, with no demo man, they are going to be able to transition this quite a lot easier than they would otherwise. Mathers takes a ton of damage, but there's really no other threat. Both of the soldiers jumping out to second. They're just going to chill in the yard, get buffed. So no real threat of getting forced here from Dummy. He's only just going up to 80% here, but it's a large advantage. I mean, we saw in that mid-fight that top 5 had a large advantage, but they obviously weren't aware of the fact that GlobalClan had the possibility of getting the Uber. And now we're going to see GlobalClan moving through from the left-hand side through into that left yard. They're going through Z now. They might catch them out. The position is okay from top 5rocket. Uber comes in really deep. It's actually a trade. They did just about manage to get that Uber in time. And so many frags go down. It's now back in top 5's favour.
They try and do the classic 10 soldiers behind. It doesn't end up working out for them, and now they're just being absolutely crushed here. They're just trying to catch as many players as they can, but Dowie and Flick are all the way out of there. Just going to go and hold their own yard. They are going to get 2 soldiers on the forward spawn here. Ixie's spawning a little bit later, however, so it looks like he's going to get back spawned. 1 player add for the side of top 5rocket. Let's see what they want to do with it. Making their way in towards Garage, just going to clear away those stickies, and Korvac is into left yard, so he is currently in behind them. He's going to have to take a 1v1 with Mathers on the flank, pops him up into the air, and they don't airshot each other, and that's really sad.
Yeah, Mathers just about wins that, so that's going to stunt any kind of aggression they wanted to go for. I mean, we did see a trade, and both teams have built okay, so it is basically even. We do see GlobalClan looking to get aggressive just off that single bit. This is quite ballsy, but they got so much damage out of it. Ixie go really, really deep, picks up Eleport. No position at all for top 5, and Mula gets cleaned up by Mathers as well.
Unfortunately there for the side of top 5rocket, just getting absolutely spooned by GlobalClan.EU on that mid. Unfortunately, Dowie is going to be building up that Uber, so they are going to have an advantage if they can get second for last. And it looks like Cupid's already spawning on NG. He smelt the state of the game right now. He smells baguettes in the air, and because he's French. And Dowie's going to be able to take second here with the rest of his team. For 50% Uber right now. He's just going to be building with his team, making their way in towards second. It is nice and clean, but Dwo, holding top, is just going to back off.
Yeah, they did just about swap to it. It's kind of this awkward situation now where they've got this Uber advantage, but they've still got to build 30% up. In this second put quite close, they could take some, but top 5 are really, really far back. They do have the sniper, they do have the energy though.
They are making their way to the right-hand side. They use up the Uber through the shutter straight away. No headshots come out here. They do spot the gun out. The gun does get cleaned up eventually. Sticky's off point though. Flex has cleaned them all up immediately. Loads of cat time down. And this is a real worry now for top 5rocket. They have to get players on this point immediately. And they are managing to clean up everyone here. Damage is down. QB on the poo. Unable to move because he's a fat boy. And they get around. So GlobalClan coming back into this game is 2-1 currently.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest push, but they just about got enough damage down with those initial bombs in from the demo with both the soldiers. And once that demo was dealt and they cleaned up the medic as well, it meant that there was no real kind of opportunity for them to contest any further. And it's back to 2-1 now, and we're going to see what happens in this next bit.
Dagger has made his way into mid, a little bit faster than Elicor. Elicor is going to be rolling out bottom left again. Looks like they want to do another big crunchy mid. Callback's bombing really early, but Dowie is out of Garage, unfortunately. They get the ball on towards Dagger. Great damage from Callback, stuffs him in a corner and kills him. And it looks like Charlie and Mathers are managing to get on top of Mula. Dowie is somehow still alive with Ixie, and they are managing to escape this mid-fight, despite sacking their entire team for Mula.
Yeah, both scouts, I mean, they could have gone for the chase there, but they saw how quickly Dowie was able to get out of that. As soon as it looks dangerous for him, he just runs out super fast. Obviously we have the scout speed back as everyone seems to prefer. Top 5, I mean, they did come down with the mid-fight nap, and they got lots of early cap time, so they might even be able to pressure into the yard if they want to, but they've just got the one hider and he's instantly spotted there, QB.
Unfortunately there for QB, he was seen by Charlie in the corner and he couldn't do much about it. Dagger is just going to be trying to clear these stickies, as we have not got anyone on the lap currently, so Lamp doesn't need to be checked. Ixie actually going down there as they're trying to make their way in. Dagger manages to muscle all the way through. They're just going to try and force them all the way out of mid without having to use the supercharge off. And Callback is just going to be pushed all the way out in towards yard. And Mula up to 80%. If they are able to call these Ubers correctly, they will be able to push, but they don't. And they are just going to maintain position on mid and set up for a stalemate.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if they had like perfect knowledge of the Uber there, it would have been a very risky push. He would have just about got Uber in time. So I think it's definitely the smart play from Global Clan, just to chill and not go for that risky kind of Uber into the yards. But we now see them just kind of chilling a little bit. I mean, this is the first real kind of this second to yard stalemate we've seen.
Air shot by Elicon towards Mathis as he goes for that sack. Juggled through the doorway and demolished. Welcome to a Frank video, sir.
Absolutely. But, I mean, I don't know, Mathis isn't really the keenest to off-class, I don't think, usually. So we might see him just do a few more of these kind of soldier sacks coming in. I mean, I know he always hates that, he always like points out his kind of classic Roma logs whenever he gets them. But often he has to play that kind of role, just sucking and seeing what he can do, and often pays for it in the statistics, but that's what his team needs.
Duo dropping off that high ground that he was holding inside of a garage there. It was kind of, I've never seen that spot before actually, as they do get the kill on towards Ixie. Ixie might decide to spawn up on Sniper to try and end the stalemate. It tends to be because it's so slow that they go for these plays, but it looks like he's just going to spawn. Holding the spawn, it looks like maybe they're contemplating it. They do swap him onto Sniper here, so I think top5rocket are going to be aware of this. They understand Ixie as a Sniper player, so seeing him sack probably, bets on that he's on Sniper.
Yeah, they're definitely going to, know that is a certain possibility. I mean, they won't know it having confirmed until they either see him or they hear the Sniper shot ring out. There is so much really, really good spam here from top 5, and you can see Mula is not risking himself. He's aware of the threat of the sniper. He's not putting himself in a position where he can get sniped. So Ixie's going to have to try and get someone on the flank, it looks like.
They are able to get their Sniper kind of in position here and buffed up. He's making his way in through garage. Just going to be peeking wide around that corner. Duo's put himself back in the spot of defense. No one tries to peek through that doorway. They are going to be absolutely toasted. Ixie just slowly creeping. Does get spotted out by Duo. Duo dropping down off his perch. Does land tons of damage into him. Cube in a bit of danger here, but they get the bombs off. They get Ixie and Dagger and the Force. Incredible stuff there from Callback. Very nice gameplay from him.
Yeah, great play there from top 5 all around. Like they knew that obviously when you've got that sniper, you have a lot less DM and a lot less denial. Like you don't have that double set denial, and particularly on this kind of garage choke point and the granary as a map as a whole. If you can get into those close corners, the soldiers can get so much damage down on multiple classic. The damage comes in. I mean, so it allows them to just get the force back and get the. So now they're transitioning. Uber comes in quite deep into the. I mean, Global Clan are completely out. Like they're back onto second.
If you could see my face right now, I was just gawping at why they used that Uber charge through the choke. There was nobody in yard, so I'm not sure who called for that Uber. But they had no idea where anyone was when they went for that, so they didn't get anything at all. Not an ounce of damage onto anyone here, and Doe now has Uber, so they have advantage to push top5rocket back in towards mid. Flick actually gets picked up there by Elicor though, so they do find that kill. Elicor currently on a killing spree, and Doe down to 50 HP, eating so much damage here, and they're getting sacked off the Dagger with the pipes, cleans up Doe pretty easily, just buying some time here for Mula to get his Uber charge and get the rest of his team healed up, and they can peel quite nicely now. It looks like Global Clan very keen to get in. Dagger is calling for it, and it looks like they're actually going to be going for a reset here very wisely as Mula's finding his Uber charge.
Yeah, that was just all down to Elicor. He's just hitting that pipe spam, long range arced over the little hut. He obviously picked up the scout, but the bigger thing he did was he got so much damage down onto Doe that he had to go back for the health pack. By the time he's come back and ready to push, they're up to 90% already, so it's basically even Ubers.
Yeah, like you mentioned previously, just an even Uber situation. Both teams going to be relaxing here, but Doe's going to be standing on that high ground, just, healing up Charlie in that doorway. Not a lot they can do to send these players through, get these sacks off, and put them in a disadvantage. But it's kind of harder to sack on a medic that's sitting that close because you've got the soldier in the doorway, but bottom left becomes a bit more of an issue. So we're going to see if they can identify this and get some sacks off.
Yeah, well, Neo's on sniper. He picks up Flick with a nice headshot. Don't think Flick was quite aware of the sniper. It's interesting because they're going for the trade. In fact, it's kind of really aggressive, but Müller is absolutely nowhere near. Really, really good rotation now from top 5. They're going through Garage. They've got the Uber to use if they want. They're actually taking it a little slow and steady, and GlobalClan are completely out there. I don't know if they're just spooked a little bit with that Uber, but they've completely thrown that Uber away, and now we're going to have 100% for top 5. The only thing they've got to worry about is they do have a sniper when they're pushing this.
Neo is cracking off headshots right now, unfortunately, and Müller is ready with the Uber charge. Elikor bombing in, 2 stickies on the ground, gets the gun down immediately. They're going to be able to get the Uber to him as well. Doey's caught out in the open, goes down immediately, so no Uber charge coming up for GlobalClan. Looks like they're going to be able to get a little bit of capture done. They get the clean up onto some players here. 3v3. QB's getting held up. Elikor's been hung out to dry, unfortunately, and QB's now in this impossible situation where he's got to try and kill 3 players. They are weak, but they've got the spawn door to play with, and unfortunately they're unable to get a point on this last.
Yeah, post-Uber position in there from top 5 is all over the place. Demo man in spawn, scout and medic back, like at the shutter. Really not good. That, I mean, part of it, I guess, was due to the fact they had a sniper in that push, which wasn't ideal. Maybe if they'd had 2 scouts, they'd have been able to sneak it out. But I mean, the good thing for them is that Müller stayed alive, and now they're going to have a second bite on it.
Yep, unfortunately for Doey, he did die very foolishly in this last, and they are able to get in here, and this Uber has been used. They're able to get the Uber all the way across. Captime is down, but the flash comes out from Müller onto QB, looking like they just want to go for the frags, and Doey dies once more, but Müller also going down here. It looks like top 5 Rocket have just beat this push horribly, and they just get forced into a corner. Duo going down as well, and it's just QB left alive. As we see so many times, QB just seems to survive every push.
Yeah, I mean, people were calling about in chat for baiting. I don't know whether it's baiting or good survival. Make your own minds up on that. Again, top 5. I mean, you can see how deep Elikor really, really wants to go deep every time. And they are getting frag up to Doey. The rest of the team is not putting themselves in a position to win those fights at the end of the day. And, you know, there's 2-1 up, but could have been 3-1 for sure.
Looks like they do manage to find Charlie in the shutter door, so they are just getting buffed up, ready to send some kind of sack in, and they are just going to be taking lunchbox here. They have got players currently watching it. Dagger's trying to like flick around, look at that top area while Elikor's holding off on that shutter, just creating a bit of space here. And it looks like they are managing to get a player in behind. Callback has managed to get on top onto Mathes, and Mathes crates as well, so Callback wins that one out. He's going to have to fight against Charlie, however, on top as well. And it looks like the rest of the Frenchies, top 5 Rocket, are getting a load of space here. And they're just going to drop Callback in towards the combo. Good damage down onto Dagger, but they do not use the Uber charge. Unfortunately, a nice sack attempt from him.
Yeah, this was a really nice sack. I do like just how good this position here is for GlobalClan. They've just got everyone around them, everyone kind of sat back, able to absorb all that pressure. It was a nice sack attempt, but they put perfect position in there from GlobalClan to just absorb it all and put the counter spam back so that Elikor couldn't get any more threatening either. Yeah,
very nicely done there for Decker. He was able to fend off everyone from his medic and keep his medic alive in that shutter. They're just going to stick off everything here and just make sure the top 5 Rocket cannot make their way into a second. 10 minutes remaining on the clock, and looks like we have got a player in behind. He came through drop down. Matha is taking a 1v1 with QB on the flank here, just jumping all the way around, and QB actually hits the taunt on Mathers there, finding that kill.
Yeah, it looks like they want to do something. They've got that 1 pick now. It looks like they're going to try and do something from lunchbox. Both of the soldiers going up. They're very, very powerful in this position. Got to deal with ledge stickies underneath. The callback tries to get something going, doesn't work. Gets a lot of damage down to Charlie, but it's going to be arrowed up instantly. Charlie back at full health, and even a little bit of buff now, and top 5 are just going to have to back out to yard again.
Yeah, it looks like Charlie is doing exactly the same thing as has been spotted immediately and is just going to immediately perish. It looks like actually getting destroyed there. But they get the kill onto Dwo, but they find Dagger in return. And Flick has been caught inside of the point here. The rest of the top 5 Rocket have made their way in. Neither Uber has been exchanged. Elikor actually dies here. Unfortunately, Doty still has not used, only just uses now. So they've got a much better Uber on the GlobalClan. And Müller is getting body blocked, unfortunately, by this blue Uber. And he's going to try and retreat through Garage. Is making his way through. Math is now on top of Müller. Not much waiting there around from him, and Mula does manage to escape here, but Flick finds the kill onto QB. They have got player advantage, and they're going to make their way in towards mid pretty much immediately. There is no hold from top 5 Rocket other than Neo spotting out here onto Mathes. They're getting their players in. Looks like they do want to fight this on the side of top 5 Rocket. The bombs are coming in from Charlie in towards Garage. Gets airshot by Ellicor into the floor though, and Neo gets that frag onto Charlie, gets the cleanup. Callback getting launched into a wall, however, by Flick. Nice deny from him. Mathes dropping down on top of the scout, doesn't find the damage. Unfortunately, Flick back on his own pack. QB forcing him all the way back, eventually cleans that frag up, and now the foot is in the totally other direction, and Flick, Charlie, and Mathes all on respawners. Flick down for 10, Mathes down for 9, Charlie catches his, and they are managing to stick up second, however, getting a little bit of space, but they're just going to have to retreat all the way back to last.
Yeah, I mean, GlobalClan, that push didn't work out for them. I think it was literally just because Ellicor hit that really, really nice shot at close range pipe, and that really saved it for top 5, but GlobalClan, they are doing a really, really nice job here, doing just about holds from that second attempt. But you can see how together they are every time they transition. They're just a little bit more together in their play than top 5 at the moment. But obviously they are at that 1 round deficit.
Yeah, everyone seems to know the game plan on GlobalClan. Everyone knows what they're getting up to, and everyone's very clued in and understanding what the game plan is and why they do things. And they are getting on top of Mula here. Charlie getting through the door, going for directs for some reason, shoots the wall and dies to Ellicor. Unfortunately, beefs everything there.
Yeah, and while that was happening, Neo we're going to see this time. Oh, to come up on this sniper man. And with GlobalClan really backing up to the last, a lot of space is going to open up to him, and Ixie is going to go for the counter sniper.
Who's your money on, Neo or Ixie?
I would say probably Ixie. I mean, I think like Neo is quite a good sniper. I think you see Ixie pick up QB there.
Unfortunately, they do pop the super out. They are so scared of Ixie, they use the Uber to try and peek the door, and Dagger's just in with a much better Uber. Charlie actually getting body shot there by Neo as they come in. Callback getting cleaned up top by Mathes as he was 300 HP and uncontested. It looks like Dwo's hiding around the corner, drops on towards Dagger, and they get the kill, baiting him around the corner. Good damage down. They get the arrow onto him as well to keep him alive. But there seems to be more blue bodies inside this point, and Ellicor is away from his heals and needs to get healed up now by the rest of his team. And it looks like they did get a little bit of captain down, but they are just going to concede this.
Ellicor was just stuck on that flank. He would have been caught out with just a single player in Godfrey, but he didn't. He got so much damage down onto Dagger. Now see Charlie come in, he gets to multiple players, that's a ton of damage down. Neo goes down the slot, but a lot of damage onto Callback. Woe is it gets absolutely destroyed by Ixie. That's a really, really nice snipe. Another stack coming in this time, Callback.
No,
he nukes him!
Oh, incredible. Ixie actually hit the body shot on him, but Doe just surfed directly into his face, like, unfortunately. And yeah, just a nice damaged rocket directly to his forehead to clean him up there. So now Uber advantage for Mula. They are just going to wait for callback, it looks like, before they do anything. A very wise decision here, just make sure your players are alive. And no sentry gun for the side of GlobalClan. 5 minutes on the clock. They do not want to sit on their own last, it looks like. So they just want to remain in this aggressive position, because if GlobalClan get held on their last for the remaining time period, they just lose. So they need to be in an aggressive position here. But they are opting for the sentry gun now that they're on big disarm. And they use the Uber out, so they are just going to be coming through the shutter door pretty much immediately. Charlie here gets the kill to Ellicor! It's a disaster. They're just going to be sending all their players back on the shutter. The bomb comes in from Dagger. They get loads of damage to Mula, and that push was absolutely pants.
Yeah, but again, we see Ellicor just really, really deep into the shutter. Ahead of his... I mean, that's what you want your demo to do, just go deep into the shutter. But Charlie, completely aware of that. I think that's just an outbrain there from Charlie. Gets the pick onto Ellicor, completely shuts the push down.
Looks like GlobalClan coming in towards mid. Ellicor's going to be lowering up their stickies, trying to stop people from coming in, but Charlie's made his way into the top. Stickies have been blown, so Doe's through that left-hand side now, and he's going to be making his way all the way in towards the mid with the rest of his heals. Doesn't have catch a supercharge, so pushing off Uber very wisely, and they are going to be making their way in. They pop out the supercharge, and they are going to be chasing in towards the shutter. It's a much better use than as seen on the side of top 5 rocket, but they still don't find anything with the supercharge, and Mula now has his Uber ready to go pretty much. So they're just going to be getting this Uber pushing through, it looks like, in towards Yard. They want to secure more ground so GlobalClan have less of a chance of making their way back into this game.
Yeah, I think that was smart. You could see Ellicor wanted to go for something super aggressive briefly. They do spot out Charlie the Hyde. So they definitely make the best of it there. They just decided to get that item. Now they can roll. They still have that advantage. They can roll into mid with a little bit more information.
They are able to get their players onto this mid here. They're just going to start capping up all of the ground that they can. And top 5 rocket now, 100% Uber. Dowie only up to 85%. And looks like they are getting ready to push. They just want to go, it looks like. Elicor's going to be peeking through. They are just going to bust left-hand side with both soldiers. This is what I was talking about before, just taking that left-hand side area and just forcing players to rotate on you. And they are doing exactly that. Charlie is trying to push all the way across, and they're just getting this nice pincer movement from GlobalClan. They clean up 3. GlobalClan, nice response to the French push.
Beautiful, like just completely on point. 3 players coming from flat, 3 players just bullying into that check. So much damage that all 3 of them get caught out. And now GlobalClan, they have to worry a little bit about this cap time with mid, but otherwise they're just going to be able to roll into second. And Elicor goes down to Charlie.
Unfortunately there for Elicor. Looks like Dowie still has a Zuba's charge, however. He did get mega damage but didn't use. And looks like a Neo getting cleaned up in the yard as well. They're managing to arrow up all of these players and keep them all nice and healthy on the side of GlobalClan. So they could convert this round. They actually use out the supercharger. Rocket comes in. They are actually going to trade out, but loads of flashing from Dowie. He needs to get out of here. Their Uber is already gone. Muller still has 30% left of his Uber. Mathis now in Lunchbox. Is just going to get cleaned up here by Callback. Better health, and Callback just destroys him against the wall. The rest of GlobalClan very desperate to get in, however. Flick's going to be heading in through Z, and he could run in towards Elicor. Doesn't quite go for it. Callback's going to be holding down that flank very nicely. So nice hold there from the side of top 5 rocket.
Yeah, there was a brief window there. GlobalClan thought something was going to happen. Both the top 5 rocket soldiers were kind of baited into that lunchbox, and Elicor wasn't quite in position either. So if they had committed across the point, they could have got something out of it here. But we see top 5 just about managed to stabilise now, and it is even-ish, like a very slight advantage on Dowie. I don't know if they're going to be able to push it though.
Looks like Dowie gets a supercharge right now. Just going to be heading in towards the shutter door here. They're going to try and edge this cap. They just use it around the corner. They just want to go in straight away. They actually have Uber advantage here. They push on like 7% advantage. Charlie is in towards Muller. They do not get the force out of him, however, and they're just going to be heading back towards the point. Nice play there from GlobalClan. Reading that situation. They could send a sack right now. There's no sentry gun available. Looks like they're just going to be heading towards last to try and send this sack in. And Charlie bombs all the way deep in. Math is also in towards Muller. And they're going to force him in a corner where he's not going to be drawn by the rest of his team. And the rest of top 5 rocket are all going to be grouped up on the point while Dowie escapes.
Yeah, but obviously they had to have Ixie commit there, so now they're 3 down. It's going to make it completely impossible to fight this second point now. They are just opted to go back to Garage here on GlobalClan. 5 take second point with complete gusto. Dowie is a large advantage now, and with the spawn of Ixie coming up, they've now got 6 spawns, so top 5 are going to have to find some kind of defense here.
Yeah, it looks like GlobalClan going to be sending Charlie on the flank there. He's trying to shove all the way in. Does manage to escape though. He's going to collect some heals, and they manage to make their own to the left yard here. Dowie with 98%. They need to roll it fast because it does take time to get the second point down. And they are just going to be sending Dagger through bottom left here. They drop him all the way down. Dowie's heading actually in through top right now. Charlie's trying to get in through left. A little bit miscoordinated here from the side of GlobalClan, but they do get their players muscled all the way into this last. The cap goes through. There are players currently on point. They're going to stand on it, and they're going to get it. It's 2-2. 45 seconds remaining, and it's going to a golden cap.
Wow, that was just absolutely touching. I mean, I don't think it was a great push by any means, but top 5, they all decided to run back into spawn. Didn't have a single player to contest the point, and they paid for it. GlobalClan noticed that and just stacked the point with all their gamers, and they've somehow brought it back.
Incredible stuff from GlobalClan there. Managed to come all the way back in this game. 17 seconds remaining on the clock. So now it's time to pad your logs, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie goes in deep. Ixie Garumla across the point, wants another Elicor kill. Pistol whips him down. Ixie goes down for his troubles. Go back to bombing in as well. Gets annihilated, unfortunately there. Dowie also getting another death with dogs, typical Dowie. And Muller also getting frags as well, typical Muller. And Flick gets that kill in the final 0.1 seconds. GG has been called. It's 2-2. We're going to a golden cap.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be demoralisation for top 5. When they started so well, they looked really, really strong for the first 10-15 minutes. But you could see definitely GlobalClan, they did pull it back. They were making the better of the push. They were more together as a team. And they deserved to bring it back to 2-2. And now we're going to see who's going to take that kind of decisive golden cap point.
Yeah, let's see if they have what it takes here. I've actually got my money on top 5 Rocket to take this. They look so dominant in the first half of Granary, and they just kind of let it slip as time went on, maybe getting a little bit complacent. They've got logs on screen for you, ladies and gentlemen, to take a look at before we go into this golden cap. It appears that we've got, typical slow game stats. No one with any major damage dealt, apart from Elakor, who dealt 324 damage a minute, really finding his footing on the Boomer map. No surprises there, going against Dagazuma. Anything standing out to you?
Not really. I mean, I want to say air shots, but as we know, 11 air shots math is impressive. But as we know, Granary does have the kind of fake air shot kind of thing coming in with those kind of upwards rockets that hit players on the pipe do count as air shots. So unfortunately, I don't think those fully count.
Yeah, unfortunately, otherwise I would have also gone off those stats. But in terms of deaths, we have got pretty even medic deaths. Dowie did die 2 more times. It kind of just showed that they had a bit more domination on these mids from top 5 Rocket, but they just couldn't convert the rounds at the end. They had a few cringe uber pushes that they could have got rounds on, unfortunately, for top 5 Rocket. They have to now live with that, unfortunately, in this golden cap. So how long do you reckon it's going to take for either? Which team do you reckon is taking this golden cap, and how long do you reckon it's going to take?
I'm going to say top 5 are going to completely refresh. They're just going to just dominate the mid. We've seen pretty good mids from them, particularly the first few. They're just going to dominate the mid, and they're going to take it within 2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's a solid time. I reckon we're going to see the Rapido 1 minute 20 out of top 5. I think we're going to just see the Elakor cracks the whip, gets 5 kills on mid, goes all the way to last and kills everyone. I think, the typical Elakor stuff, he's one of these players that performs under pressure. This man just demolishes teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, slow to warm up. That first map was not great for him by any means, but he kind of schooled Dagger a little bit so far on Granary. But Dagger does have this golden cap now to adjust if he needs to.
I want chat's opinions. Who's going to take this map? Is it your favourite hashtag global domination or hashtag Vive la France or hashtag baguette? Either one's good. Just put it in chat if you think they're going to win. We want to know who you think is better from public opinion. I had it down. My top 4 teams that I have down in this order that I've got on my notepad, right, that I made predictions at the start of the season, is Nerd Rage 1, Faint 2nd, GlobalClan 3rd, and then top 5 Rocket 4th. So by all means, I should probably be going for GlobalClan here.
Yeah, but as we've seen, they were kind of the dominant team on the first map, but this map has very much been a second and very, very different map. And now we're going to see in this golden cap who could pull it out.
They are now live and ready. We've got players shaking. The adrenaline is pumping. We're making our way in towards the golden cap mid. Elakor going to be rolling out through his bottom left-hand side. Looks like big crunchy mid from GlobalClan. They're making their way in through garage. They've got soldiers poised and ready to make bombs. Corvax going to be bombing in towards Dowie. Wants that frag. Corvax gets the sink onto Dagger. Cleans up the Dowie immediately. Dowie goes down. Mula's still alive. Mula in the bottom left corner gets on top by Mathis. Receives a rocket flick with the cleanup. They get the kill on the medic, and that's the kill they need. And it looks like they are managing to clear the rest of the team here. Ixie's still alive, but we've seen this man thrive in these situations. And he is now up against Neo and Elakor. Elakor just laying out a foundation of stickies and just pipes him down very nicely there. And it's going to be a mid to top 5 rocket, but both medics going down.
Yeah, I mean, Flick came in with a crucial frag there. I mean, they opted for the same kind of mid that we've seen from top 5 a couple of times. They didn't execute at all, but big salvage coming in from Flick. So the Ubers are equalised now, but we already see top 5 with the frags that they got on that mid fight. They've been able to lock down this yard area.
For those of you that are unaware about golden cap rules, if the timer of 50 minutes runs out, the team that has mid wins the game. So currently, top 5 Rocket poised in a very positive position. However, the round will reset before then, so they'll just be sent back towards a mid fight anyway, regardless. And the team that wins that mid fight pretty much wins the game. Or you can just get last and win the game. That's how the golden cap currently works. So I think it's top 5 Rocket looking to take away 2 points in this official because you get 2 points for a golden cap win and 1 point for a golden cap loss because you technically draw pretty much. So there's points all round for both teams. out of this official, but I think GlobalClan are not going to settle for anything less than 5 in this official. So Callback making his way into the lunchbox. Looks like they want to try and do the lunchbox trade. Heading in there, Doey is on the high ground, however, drops down. They are super weak, though, on the rest of top 5 rocket. Going to be calling it and just playing passively for now.
Yeah, they are just chilling. I mean, I don't want to call you out, but I'm pretty sure I checked the rules and I thought it was back to like the golden mid-fight rules this time. So that
it?
I believe so.
Oh, they change it every season. I'm always confused about how
it has
works.
changed a few times for sure. I don't know if we have any like admins or anything in the chat, anyone that can just confirm, but
we have Seeds in chat. Seeds confirm. Let us know what it is, and that is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to him. But the stalemate is ongoing. GlobalClan have decided, you know what, we're just going to post up in here, just get set up nice and comfy, cozy, and just chill, while the rest of top 5 rocket are looking to just relax. But they're spamming up towards Doey. Good damage on him. Actually, oh, he craters! Doey drops the Uber charge. Now it's time for GlobalClan to just try and defend last. That's all they can do here. They unfortunately dropped that Uber charge out. Doey actually drops a whoops in chat.
Doey drops the how crater in it. I mean, disaster. Ixie's decided to run straight back, gonna go on this side. They're really quick with their off classes here. GlobalClan, they've got their NG up. It's only a level 1 centrum now. The Uber's coming in left hand side, take us away.
Looks like Elacor's getting the flash at the tail end of that Uber. They need to clearly 6 off the point. Neo is trying to go for it. They get a little bit of cap time down. GlobalClan's going to be fearing. However, they get the frags here. They get the callback. They're forcing the rest of the team into a corner. They don't manage to kill Dagger. Doey somehow still alive despite standing in front of his entire team. Neo is still in. Elacor as well. They're just going to have to escape out of this shutter door, unfortunately. And they beat that Uber and push, unfortunately, there. It's going to be Flick running in towards Neo and just trying to win that flank fight. And they are managing to push them out second here. Even Ubers for both teams. And it's just a bit of a beef there, and they're able to recap second.
Yeah, a little bit of a Legrand berth there for sure. They just didn't quite get it going, and now second. When they do have even Ubers, that's sort of what they can take away from it. And we're kind of back in the position we were. It's as if Doey hadn't thrown in that huge drop.
Yeah, unfortunately they're flicking out, running in towards the flank, gets QB, but frags himself in the meantime. Charlie is through the shutter, is now being shot at by an entire team, and then Elacore manages to pick him off with a nice sticky bomb. So top 5 rocket getting a ton of aggression in towards the second, but Dagger nearly goes down there, does himself up to top and escapes out. But that is going to mean they're going to have to concede second here. Neo's just running forwards, trying to get as much pressure down. Actually gets the force towards Doey, and they are able to get that Uber out of them. Mula doesn't have to use just yet. Is now going to have to use, though, gets meat shot. Ixie just going to be running in behind, trying to drag back an Uber charge, but they get Doey. So the French team managing to get their domination on the Doughboy.
Yeah, are they going to build up this Uber, or are they just going to go straight in with no buffs on GlobalClan? They do still have to worry about it. He is just about cleaned up. It looks like they're just going to push it in dry without the buffs on GlobalClan.
Looks like they are heading in here, trying to destroy this gun. The gun is on 1 HP. Elacore manages to clean that up eventually. QB received an arrow, so the rest of the side of top 5 rocket are getting nicely healed up here. Looks like Elacore wants to commit, but they don't want to beef this, so they're just going to head back, play the Uber advantage they got off killing Doey, just relax.
Yeah, smart play though. They saw that, they tried to go for what they could with the drive. They saw the spawners came up and people didn't have enough position or enough health, and now they're just going to be able to play the Uber advantage. Super smart play.
They're able to just get their entire team held up. That's a 95%. Ixie up on the snipers, so they're not going to be able to milk the Super too much. The shot has been fired by the sniper. They're going to use the Super. Elacore jumping in. Actually gets body shot back there while Ubered, so the Super charge not so great. And Doey is still managing to survive here up on the left-hand side. He walks out of spawn though. Callback bombs him and he nearly died. But the rest of the top 5 rocket are all dying, so it doesn't really matter too much. Neo going down as well. Mula manages to escape and just baits the entire team and is out of there, wanting to survive for as long as he can. And GlobalClan really want him.
Yeah, I mean, most of them on GlobalClan, they just kind of bunched up in that corner. The damage didn't quite come in enough from the French team. If they got a little bit more cap time, that would have kind of baited them out of the corner. Or if the bombs had gone a little bit deeper, it would have worked as well. But as it was, I think it was just Dagger came in. I don't know if I assume he had the stickies on point. He just got those frags in, and again we see a little bit of a beef.
Yep, Doey actually at an uber disadvantage here by 10%. Muller's been building that up, but they're not going to really know about that too much. Looks like they're just going to try and take as much space as they can. They do spot out left yard, and they are going to clear out these stickies from the top of garage. Looks like GlobalClan are very keen to just drag them into second, to be honest, and they are just going to claim this right yard area. And the rest of GlobalClan are just going to retreat off of that flank now, and they are just going to get set up once again in exactly the same position we saw before. Doey getting a supercharge, but they are keen to get into Lunchbox, it looks like, with their flank and get set up and ready to make something happen for the side of top5rocket.
They've taken control of yard. I mean, we talk about this being kind of the 7 CP map, really, when you've got that yard as the extra thing. Soldier comes in Duo, but he gets absolutely nowhere near Duo. Doey gets cleaned up straight away. A little bit more skirmishing. Every time GlobalClan, they seem to want to take some space in this right yard. Ixie going for a little bit of a flank, but is spotted. Looks like just a little bit of back and forth spam, but no one super committing hard just yet.
Oh, Doey is actually in spam right now. He's at half HP, but Cormac gets headshot there by Charlie. Goes down. Nice damage from Mathes. They're bombing through in towards Muller. Muller has to use. Nice bomb there from Charlie, doing a great job there. Doey's actually just retreating all the way back into the shutter. Does not have to use the supercharge, and they shouldn't use it whatsoever. Flick's just running out now, pushing the scout all the way back. They do not have to use the supercharge, and now it's looking incredible for the side of GlobalClan.EU. Going to be pushing top5rocket all the way back out of mid. And looks like they're just trying to send some flanking here. They're flooding their flank players in. It's going to be QB and Dwo going back. And GlobalClan are going to be forced all the way back to their own second. They do get the respawners, but they have lost so much ground because they're having to send so many players back. They've got to spam on towards the shutter door now. And it looks like they do want to have to use the supercharge, but they don't in the end. Dagger there just calling it off. Flick's ready to go, however, back in towards mid. They do not want the action to end.
They still don't have eyes on Duo. They're not quite sure where he's at. Ixie spotted him now. It's a little bit of a fight with what happened.
No, Doey! No! He just ignores Dagger in the choke. And Dagger dies to a roller, so he doesn't get the arrow off. And then because Dagger's not there, Doey gets bombed and has to use the Uber.
Oh, I mean, I didn't see that. I was watching the flank play behind.
Doey, no.
I mean, we now look at they've extended the server. It's, I mean, Muller's up at the 100% now. I mean, Seeds did, thankfully, post the rules in chat, and, you know, as I said, it does go down to potentially a golden mid fight if they don't. If nothing happened, there isn't this kind of holding mid thing that we've seen in previous seasons. I mean, I don't blame you for not knowing. I hope the players on the server know as well, to be honest. Because it has changed. It has changed so many times, we're not really sure. I see a couple of frags there going kind of in GlobalClan's favour. So they are going to take control of this mid, but as we said, that's not the win condition.
Yeah, they are able to do. Hold on to second here in yard, sorry, if for the side of top5rocket. Looks like Charlie coming in through the choke, just pencil it right into the ceiling. And looks like they're sending Mathis in as well. They're going for the double set. The double Rooney, Muller with a beautiful surf, does all get all the way back towards the forward spawn. Is going to be able to arrow up the rest of the team now. So 2 soldiers down for the side of GlobalClan, and now they've got no spam really in this mid other than Dagger. So they need to try and lock out a choke here to try and force out Muller before they get in the mid. They are able to take all of this room for the side of the Frenchies. They're going to be bombing with their soldiers all the way forward in towards Doey. Good damage onto Doey. They need to keep these players up and alive. They use up the supercharge on the side of GlobalClan. Looks like Muller is going to be weak on the post here, but so is Doey. And Muller now getting stickied off. Elicor's actually going to get caught here inside of Garage, and he is going to be moving all the way back. Receives an arrow from Muller, and a very squeaky bum reset.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we now have completely, well, essentially equalised ooms. We have this. I mean, this is kind of the big kind of stalemate on this point. This yard to second point. You know, if it doesn't go down, this map is super quick. But this stalemate especially is kind of really difficult to break. You know, as you said earlier, going through left yard is kind of your best bet. But other than that, it is very difficult.
Yeah, it's too hard to escape this. There was a time in a place when golden caps would go for infinite amount of time until one team capped up the last. And that happened on Granary. Me and Kermit were sat here for 45 minutes. It was not a fun time. So thank God that rule has been changed. Otherwise, we would be here forever. As GlobalClan is known to be the resident sleeper map. But other than that, we're seeing a crunch in the choke. Global Clan getting absolutely destroyed by Elikor and Callback. Nice bomb from him to just force them all the way back here. It looks like Global Clan do not want to use the supercharge. They're getting back in their own garage. Actually, Doe's committing. Why is he committing? Why are they doing this? They're going into an uber disadvantage, basically, because they've got players down. But Neo here getting caught in, and the French team have just run with their tail between their legs, playing a little bit like pussies.
Oh yeah, they baited Neo as well. He gets caught. That was really weird. They had the 2 picks, but they're just super scared of something. I don't know if there's something we're not quite aware of yet. But now we see Global Clan again. They get completely mulched in this choke by Elikor. He's absolutely smashing the little bit of damage coming in from Callback. But the Charlie's weak. There's a lot of weak players on Global Clan, but they are just about able to move.
Mula gets caught in. Ash has to use off the supercharges. Really, really bad. QB misses all of his shots. And they're going to have to retreat all the way back in towards their own last. They're chasing with the Uber Active. They get the pick onto Elikor. Flick finds it, currently on a 6k. He's absolutely carrying, and it looks like they can absolutely send it onto last. And Dagger is making his way in, all the way buffed up. They're sending the bomb. The callback mega buff all the way in deep. They get the crunch, that massive collapse there from Duo and Callback, annihilating this push. And Ixie is in Lunchbox. Can he slip in behind? As he gets to the Mula, and he gets the frag. Ixie! Incredible stuff from him.
So much stuff happening. Callback with a gigantic nuke comes in, completely shuts down that push. You can see Global Clan every time they're walking through a choke point right now. They seem super scared. They're just bunging up a little bit too much, taking too much of that splash damage. But Callback nukes, but then Ixie with massive salvage there. Just picking up Mula, who's caught out a little bit between several of his players and a big flank play. And now Doe's going to have a bit of an advantage.
Let's see if they cannot push. Because it's up to top5rocket to just hold them off and pray it goes to a mid-fight. And that's just how they've got to let it happen, basically. Looks like they are managing to get space here, but there is a lot of pressure from the side of top5rocket, who are all set up, ready to receive it. Dagger manages to get in nice and clean. Doe is in as well. Looks like they're making their way into the right-hand side chat. They do have to use 3. They use out the Uber charge. Mula up to 80% Uber. Elikor's now being stuck in the corner. Does bomb all the way away. This level 3 sentry gun doing a lot of damage. Mathis is the first one to go down. They are getting on top of the point here. Doe gets another Captain down, gets cleaned up immediately. They're getting on top of this point here. Charlie as well. Super weak here. Gets cleaned up. It's just Ixie left alive, and it looks like he's going to get absolutely deleted by Elikor. It's going to be a white.
Wow. Neo, that was actually who came in and just beasted absolutely everyone. He just stood up on the point Billy Big Balls and just smashed everyone with those scattergun beat shots. Beautiful scout. Just no fear at all, just hitting everything and brings them back into this round now, and then rolling into mid.
top5rocket, 30 seconds remaining. All they can do is push. Heading in towards left-hand side yard. They need to go fast. Mathis is there. They get the kill on Tim. Nice little fight there from Elikor. They're moving in towards second. They need cap time down pretty much now. But mid has been blocked by Charlie currently, so they are going to be able to get a forward spawner. It looks like only just... No, never mind, they don't get a forward spawner whatsoever. It looks like they get the cap down onto mid eventually. 8 seconds remaining. They're heading in towards last. The cap time needs to come down towards second, but they get the supercharge out of them. Cap is about to go through. 2 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be a stalemate. And it's 0-0 on the scoreline. We're going to a golden mid.
Yeah, exciting stuff. I mean, Granary's a beautiful mid to play this kind of destructive, decisive mid-fight on. And that's what it's going to come down to. Teams are probably going to take just a little bit of a chill. It's very fast-paced. That last kind of 5 minutes back and forth. Wipes, frags all over the place. Beautiful action. Everyone hitting shots. Everyone doing their best, but it's going to come down to this single mid-fight now.
Incredible stuff here from both teams, not wanting to give an inch to either side, just trying their hardest on these mids, fully committing to the last points as well. So I'm interested to see who's actually going to take it in the end. If you... There are logs currently on the screen for you all, but we are now getting ready to go into the golden mid. We are now live. Both teams are readied up here, Dave. We're heading in to the golden mid-fight. The team that wins this will take the entire map. So we'll see what happens here on this mid-fight. And of course, making his way in towards mid. They are doing a, looks like a garage rollout here for Elikor. And Dagger's going to be coming in from top. Elocore now moving in the bottom right area. Doyle's going to be setting up as well, and Lower getting a little bit of a buff. Cormac going into the bomb. They are just committing fully in towards Zoe, and they get a lot of damage onto him. Zoe gets killed immediately. Mathers out on the garage. Looks like they're doing a lot of damage here. The top 5 rocket are coming out on top. Mathers and Flick all going down. To work from Global Clan, GG has been called. Top 5 rocket are going to win out this golden cap.
Yeah, beautiful implementation again from top 5. Just exactly what we saw in the kind of the main game before the golden cap came down. They have that really good mid fight, and whenever you see Doey going kind of through that choke, both the soldiers just landed him. He did hit a really nice surf and almost got away, but just too much damage came down in that choke point, and top 5 are going to take 2 points for this map.
Nicely done from top 5 rocket. I mean, after the first game, I thought they would have been a little bit like, feeling a bit sad coming in towards Granary, but no, they've really pulled it together and they made it happen. It's a shame that they made a couple mistakes here and there. They got forced back to their last, but I think Global Clan overall looked like the better team. But I feel like top 5 rocket, their pocket pick of Granary, just seemed to be super super-strong. That their mid fights especially were pretty good. Callback and Woe were just a severe nuisance for Doey on the mids. He had no chance of surviving any of these.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point they did adjust, and I think he rolled out top at least once, and that worked a little bit better for them. But yeah, I think you are right that Global Clan, they do look a little bit more cohesive overall, but they're definitely stronger on the first map. So they do take the 4 points to top 5s too. Interested going forward, potentially, later in the season, potentially to playoffs as well, where kind of these teams are at. It looks like Global Clan just have a slight edge right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens going forwards and how top 5 rocket matches up against the rest of the teams. But that was our week 2 season 38 Premiership division Premiership game between top 5 rocket and Global Clan. It's going to be top 5 rocket taking away 2 points for the leaderboard and Global Clan taking away 4 points. Anything else you really want to say before we go to shoutouts?
We've got a really exciting game coming up. I believe Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be Nerd Rage against Fake Gaming. I think everyone is kind of pitting these as kind of the best team against the second best team right now. And we're going to see which ones come out on top. Really exciting game. It's going to be Sunday. It's going to be 9:15. Check it out.
Yeah, and Rahmed, any shoutouts you want to chuck? Did you have your mic on for that, so I don't have to repeat what you said? Okay, so Rahmed says shout out to Moolah. He loves you. Dave, any shout outs you want to throw to your buddies out there?
Shout out to Bonobo.
Nice. Shout out to you, chat, the viewers, for watching this game. Shout out to both teams for a really good series. Shout out to Blessed. Love you guys so much. You're the bestest. Shout out to Polly's Pad as well, for everyone in there, because you're all so nice. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for viewing this evening. GG, well played, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.